Hello everybody, welcome to my day number 20 Advent Calendar reveal and project from the Spellbinders 2024 Advent Calendar. So I'm opening up day number 20 and we have got a set of 3 random scattered circle stencils. And I'm going to play with these and use them to make myself a Christmas card. Well, to make a Christmas card, not necessarily for me. Okay, so I have my Misty out and I have got 3 VersaFine Clair colours. So a nice bright green, a blue and a bright pink. Now I have got my piece of white cardstock there. It is around an A2 size card panel. And you can see I've got my stencil lined up there. I'm actually using some scrap pieces of cardstock to identify where the stencil is lining up so that when I go to repeat the stenciling, I can simply line up my stencil with the edges of that cardstock at the top and at the bottom. Now I needed to bring in some more scraps, and that's simply to help protect my cardstock when I'm getting close to those edges. Now at the moment I thought I would try out and see if I could stencil a whole cardstock panel by lining the stencil up side by side with itself. Now as I discover, if you do that, you get quite a large gap between the first lot of stencil and then the stencil you lay next to it, or even the stencils when you put it underneath. So I'm just going to continue doing it because it's not till I get close to finishing that I realise that it won't create a full panel without lots of gaps. But I will find a way to fix that. Okay, so on to my second colour here. It is the blue. And again, I'm just masking off my edges as well as that tiny little dot in the corner of the stencils. I don't want that little dot to come through. So I've been very careful in how I am brushing or blending my ink onto my stencil, trying to avoid that little dot and to keep those pieces of paper in alignment with the edges. Of course, you could use tape, that would be simpler, but I had scraps there, so I thought rather than pull out tape, I would go with using the scraps of cardstock. And so I laboured on with that. Okay, I've nearly finished my third colour here, and I'm using VersaFine Clair inks. They're a nice permanent ink. And I plan to come in and layer some more ink over top of those, but these will be in the interference ink colours. Okay, so I've come in and I've just taken each of the different layered stencils and layered those randomly in that gap where there was in the middle. And that's how I filled in that space. Now, I've just shown you I've taken an old Hero Arts kit, and in that kit it had a whole heap of little tiny stamps that you can put behind this, like a large die that cuts windows into the front of your card. But I wanted something small so I could come along and use my interference inks in similar types of colours to the VersaFine. And I'm just going over each of those little stenciled areas and stenciling in another stamp just to give some more decoration to that background. So currently I'm going through and stamping most of the blue circles with the what looks sort of like a snowflake or a star. Then I've grabbed the other tiny stamp, which was like a candy or a lolly, and I'm placing that in some of our pink circles. And the Cherry Bomb interference ink is one of my favourite colours. It has this gorgeous hot pink iridescence in it when it's in the light or when you put it onto something dark. And when it's not, it's this gorgeous cherry red. So lovely colour, that one. Now for the green ones, I'm bringing in another stamp, and this is definitely a star, and I'm using, I think it's Summer Garden, and it's green, but it has like a purpley, bluey pink interference colour in it in the light, or when you put it on something dark. So I'm not going to do as many of these stars. I don't want every single circle filled in. I just want to add a little bit more interest. So I am going to trim down and take off the excess white edges of that main panel, and you can see I've got my smaller panel from stenciling already cut off and to the side. I may find something else to use it for later. Just making sure my panel is 5.5 inches long. Now I've brought in literally scraps of holographic cardstock from other projects this month, and I've put those down the side of my panel to give it some definition. This is the stamp set that I've stamped and then heat embossed and then decorated with sequins and half pearls and all sorts of pretty sparkly things to make that gorgeous ornament. Love that set of stamps. I love just sitting there and making lots of pretty different coloured ornaments with it. Okay, putting the card together. I have got a piece of checked or plaid cardstock, and onto that I'm going to pop my main stenciled panel, and that has been popped up on some foam tape to give it lift and dimension from the background. So here is that decoration I've made, and that's going to go in the center of that stenciled panel. From there, I'm going to bring in my sentiment, and it is a die cut Merry Christmas. That is also cut in the same holographic cardstock that I used down the sides of my stenciled panel. Just trying to keep some of that silver going through the card so it's not just in one place. Now, I misplaced the dot on my eye, so I'm bringing in one of the smallest pearls from Spellbinders and putting that in as my eye, and then another pearl to sit in the center of my bow, just so we've got, you know, that continuation with the silver bead. And that is my fun card for today. I hope you've liked my little version of the Christmas stencil, and hope you join me again soon for the next day. Until then, I hope all your Christmas preparations are going well. Till next time, bye bye for now.